why do we need to forgive?
If there wasn't forgiveness in the world, God wouldn't even forgive us.
Forgiveness is like giving somebody a second chance. And God always wants us to give us second chances to other people.
Because otherwise, if we didn't forgive, we might lose all our friends. Because we would just say, I'm not your friend. You're not my friend anymore because you did something wrong. You messed up my stuff. And then everybody would have no friends except imaginary friends.
Can you imagine a world where, like, we just only have imaginary friends, right? We all want second chances. You know, our heart longs for them after we've made a mistake. We all want the second chances, but you know, it's not easy to forgive and let someone have a second chance. You know, last week I brought my wrist exercise balls, right? I told you that, you know, usually I got 2 in my hand when I go walking every day, and I'm walking along, and somehow the aggression that I feel in my fingers, I mean, you know, this action of squeezing this ball, it triggers some kind of aggression inside of me, like, you know, I really don't want to mow the grass when I get back home. Why did Darla ask me to do this? I remember what so-and-so said to me. He shouldn't have said this to me. You know, I'm walking along, I'm, you know, step, step, squeeze, 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 and I'm just working. I'm just working this ball. And as we're going along, it's just getting worse and worse. And you know, anytime I could stop, right? Anytime I could stop and say, you know, I'm gonna let that thing go. And you know, we talked last week about what forgiveness was. Forgiveness is when you take something that you are hanging on to, that you're holding against someone. You have the power. You have complete control. And what you can do to that thing is that you can let it go, right? You can let it go. Doesn't matter whether that other person agrees. Doesn't matter whether the person that hurt you, you know, is sorry. You can decide to let it go and let that thing that has been inside of you, you can just let it go. But you know, we don't do that, do we? And why don't we do that? Why is it so hard for us to let things go? Well, today we're going to talk about that. Now, when I think about things that I have to let go, I divide them in 2 categories. First of all, I have the category of ordinary stuff. You know, the ordinary stuff that happens to us all the time, every day. It's the little things that get on our nerves. It's the arguments. It's the thing that your spouse asked you to do that you really didn't want to do, so you put it out of your mind and you didn't get it done that day, and he or she is upset with you, right? It's that thing like, you never listen to me, you never do what I say, why don't you do what I say? It's that thing that it just kind of gets in your heart and it just sort of stays there. It's that normal stuff that happens to us with the people we work with, the people that we are around. It's the little arguments. It's those little things that hurt our feelings. And we know it's a little thing, but something inside of us says, that hacks me off. And you just can't not hear that thing going off inside of you. And you don't say anything about it because you know it's a piddly little deal. And why are you getting so upset about it? This whole category of ordinary stuff, it happens all the time. It happens every day. And you know, this is the stuff that we all know we could forgive, right? We know we could forgive that stuff, right? We could let all of that go. But we don't, do we? So that's the one category. The ordinary stuff we know we can forgive, but we just haven't done that yet. And then I think there's a second category, which I call the hard cases. The hard cases are those big things that have hurt you deeply in life. Those things that maybe you just can't bear to think about. Those things that you try so hard to put out of your consciousness. Those things you never, ever want to bring up again. Those hard cases are the things that you don't know if you can forgive. And you don't know if you want to forgive. Right? Next Sunday, the finale of our forgiveness series is going to be all about hard cases. But today I want to talk about the easy stuff, the ordinary stuff. So let's talk about the ordinary stuff. The stuff we know we can forgive. I mean, we can do it. We know we can. How about the friend or a coworker who throws shade on you, that says something ugly about you, talks trash about you, gossips behind your back, and you thought they were your friend. And you can't believe it when you heard what they said about you. And you know, when that gets inside of your heart, do you want to forgive them? No. Nobody wants to forgive them because of what they said about you. Because what does it do inside? It makes us angry, makes us bitter, makes us feel like we're betrayed. And when we start feeling that, and when we're thinking about it, where's my ball? Yeah, where's my... You know, we're thinking about what they said. I can't believe it. And as we're thinking about it, we're thinking to ourselves, you know, why are they doing this to me? What is wrong with me? Do I have no value? And then you begin to think, everybody believes that about me. Nobody came up to me and said, you know, I heard this, but I just can't believe it's true. Nobody said anything. Do they believe it? And the next thing you know, we find ourselves saying, well, maybe that really is who I am. Maybe I'm really a person who doesn't deserve to have friends and other people. And we just can't let go of it, can we? Or how about somebody you trusted and you told them something about yourself that was really intimate because you just had to tell someone, and you picked them of all the people you know to honor and tell them, and you said, promise me you won't tell anyone else. I promise. They lied. Because they went and they told someone. And the person they told 3 other people who told some more people. And now in your mind you're thinking, everybody knows. This intimate thing I didn't want anybody but my trusted friend to know. And she told. Well, can you let go of that one? I mean, can you just let go of that one? No! You're not letting go of that one. Because they broke your trust. You thought that they were a friend that you could count on. Makes you feel like you've just been exposed. That you have no secrets. It makes you start thinking this, you start believing it. Everybody knows the shameful, embarrassing things about me. And you feel like you don't have any friends because look what your friend just did to you. And maybe you can't pick friends. And maybe you begin feeling deep inside of you that maybe you'll never have a friend. Never have someone you can trust. Because the friends that you have had betrayed you. Can you let go of that? No. What about the person that you loaned some money or they borrowed some of your stuff? We will tolerate a lot of things, but people that steal your stuff or take your money and don't pay you back, there is a special dark place in our hearts for those kind of people, right? Because that's stealing. That's taking something that belongs to you. Do you want to forgive that? Oh, that's okay. Let them take that $1,000. That's no big deal. I got plenty more where that comes from. No, you can't let it go. You can't let that go. And when you start thinking about why do people rip me off? I mean, it seems like things like this work out for everybody else, but I'm always the victim. I'm the doormat. People come and they just take advantage of me. What is wrong with me that people think they can just sort of take advantage of me? I must not be worth very much. Can't let that one go. And then it's even worse in a situation like that. You sort of think to yourself well, I don't know why this keeps happening to me. I guess I deserve it. I guess it's my fault, right? Oh, and we come to the category of family and sibling squabbles. This is the realm where the words, "I'm sorry," mean nothing. Because as you were growing up, mom or dad made you say, "I'm sorry." Were you sorry? No. You just wanted the punishment and the embarrassment to end. You would have told her that you were a green-eyed giraffe before you would have really copped it. You're not sorry. You would say anything, right? "I'm sorry. You're my sister and I love you." It's not true. You never felt it. And why forgive them? Because they are your siblings and you know them and they are going to do it again. And maybe mom and dad won't see them this time and I won't have to say I'm sorry. But it never stops, right? Now, if you're the middle child, this is the way your life rolls, right? If you're the middle child, everything gets dumped on you. And after a while, you begin to feel like nobody really loves me. Look at the way they're treating me. I'm going to say, well, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't hurt my feelings. But it's a lie, because it really does hurt your feelings. It makes you feel like you don't belong. Maybe I don't belong in this family. Maybe there's some truth to the fact that mom and dad got me from a tribe of Indians that were, passing through town. Excuse me. Yeah. I can't believe people are still using that one. This feeling that I'm unwanted, I'm loved, and there must be something wrong with me. There must be something wrong with me. And I have to live in that birth order. And I have to live with that hurt inside of me, with that resentment inside of me. We just stuff it and hide it. We can't forgive it. We can't forgive that. And then what about the person you call best friend? That person that you really believed that they would be the person that no matter what you're going through, they would be there for you. When you needed them, they were going to stand by you. And then they didn't. And they sort of acted like, what do you mean? I didn't know you wanted me to be there. I mean, I didn't know what was going on with you. You're my best friend. Well, I know, but I guess I did. Well, the rest of the guys, we went bowling. And you're thinking, what about me? They weren't there. They didn't stand up for you. You felt betrayed and angry. Do you forgive them? Do you forgive that best friend? No, best friends fall off a pedestal really fast and really hard when they're not there for you. And what does that leave you feeling like? That you can't trust people. And there must be something about you, because you're the only person in the whole wide world that doesn't have a best friend. And you begin to think that I'm going to have to spend my life all alone, because there's something that must be worthless inside of me that nobody wants to be my friend. Now, it's sad to say all these things I've been talking about. This is the ordinary stuff category, right? It happens over and over, all the time, each and every day, and we all have a ton of this kind of stuff that's just stuffed down inside of us. And of course, Jesus says, forgive. Just let it go. And what does our heart say? No. No. We don't know what to do with it. We don't know what to do with the feelings that trigger us from moment to moment when those things that we're holding inside, we're reminded of them, and we feel this hurt and we feel this pain. But somehow our hearts just won't let go of them. So why won't our hearts let go of them? It's because deep inside our hearts we believe that if we forgive these people, if we forgive them, it's like what? It's like me saying it was okay what you did for me. Like you not forgiving them is punishing them. Friends, they're not thinking about this. You think that by holding on to that resentment and what you have against them, you're sometime restraining them from doing it again. A lot of times we don't forgive because if I forgive, then they'll just think it's okay and they'll just do it again to me. And so we don't forgive. We're afraid that if we forgive them, they're going to get away with it. And so something inside says, I can't let it go. I can't let it go. Let's just keep working the exercise ball. And what happens is as much as we want to do something to get rid of it, and we want to stop this thing that's going on inside of us, we find out that all of that stuff inside of us, it's trapped. It's trapped. We're clogged up. And all these we're trapped by these feelings inside of us. And they're talking to us all the time. They're all related to all these past things that were done to you that you couldn't forgive. And you're trapped in these feelings like there's something wrong with me. I'm not good enough. I'm worthless. No one will ever want to be my friend. No one's going to stand by me. I'm going to always be alone. Life doesn't work for me. Things always turn negative for me. And we just get trapped by these feelings and these thoughts. And we just accept them. Like, that's truth. That's truth. That's all this is the best that it gets. Really? The best that it gets? The only way that you can be free of those, the only way that you can find a way to let those things go is to hear the words of Jesus speak truth to you. And we hear these words in church every Sunday. And I intentionally say these things over and over again. When you guys are having your conversations and, as as 20 people come up to Donna after the service is over and hugging her because of her diagnosis, right? I know you guys. Y'all will do that, right? And you're gonna hug her, and you're gonna say some of these words. You're gonna say words like, you know, Jesus is gonna be with you through this. She's gonna hear the words that, and I'm gonna be with you through this. You see, these words that we speak of Jesus is that Jesus is your friend. He always has been and he always will be. And nothing you can do can make him love you more or make him love you less. Nothing you can do. He's the friend that stands by you. And I'll stand by you. And I'll stand with you. He's always been with you. You've never been alone. And the reason he does that is because you are not forgotten, but you are important. You are valuable. You are not the sum total of all the mistakes that you've made in your life. Jesus looks at you and says that you are precious and you are valuable and you are important. And you are so important to him that he gave his life for you. And everything we teach and everything we stand for in the church tells us that the cross is what he did to earn us forgiveness. And that we have been forgiven for everything. Our debt has been paid in full. We are valuable. We are precious to him. And our lives have a future. We have a purpose. And God is going to use whatever we go through. It may seem like a bad thing or a good thing, but Jesus can use these things in greater ways than we can imagine, because he is not finished transforming our lives today, for tomorrow, for the future. These are the words of truth. We call them gospel. These are the words that Jesus speaks to us over and over again. In fact, the Bible says that the face of truth is Jesus. The Bible says Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. He shows you the way to God. He speaks words that are truth. And those words of truth, they bring you life. They change what's dead inside of you, what's trapped and what's stuck. Because Jesus speaks truth and Jesus is truth. And those words of truth are the only thing that can dislodge all of those things that you're believing that aren't true. That you are of no value. That you're not worthy of a better life. That no one cares about you. You are going to be alone. You can't trust anybody. All of those things, that your failures make you ineligible for anything good the rest of your life. I can't forgive. All of those things, Jesus says, that's not true. And he tells us truth. And here at Spirit of Life, it's our mission to say these words of truth to each other. Because when those words are spoken, and when our heart grasps them, and when the power of those words touch us inside, that truth replaces those other things that we believe that aren't true. Jesus in John chapter 8 said, "If you hold to my teachings, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Have you ever wondered what that often quoted Bible passage actually meant? You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. What did you think freedom would feel like? What do you think freedom is? Now I can do what I want? No, freedom is all this stuff that's stuck inside of your heart that's just gripped and hooked deep into the flesh inside of your heart. It gives way. Freedom is when all of those things that aren't true, when all of those things that life has taught you that aren't true, all of those things are just released. You do the thing that you've been reluctant to do, and that is you take that thing that you have been holding against someone, holding against life, holding against everything, and you have the power to just let it go, to let it drop. And say, I believe that forgiveness changes me and changes the person I've been holding negative feelings against. And that power has the ability to change the future of my life and others. When you forgive, when you take that truth that Jesus speaks to us and you say, this is really the truth. This is the way. This is the life. When you receive that truth and you say, this is what I believe, and you ask Jesus for the strength to just live that out, you know, another door opens up to you. Yeah, you've already forgiven. You did that. You had control. You decided you did it. You let the thing go. It was an act of faith. You were believing that that was the right thing to do and that you were going to be set free, and it all happened. But when you let it go, then something else wonderful happens. Another door opens for you. And that door is called the door of reconciliation. Now, reconciliation. See, I just saw the look on your face. Oh, God, I had reconciliation. I just forgave him. I've been working on that for 20 years. To reconcile with some of these knotheads that had done this stuff to me, like, what's that going to take? The rest of my life? The truth is, it might. But this door of reconciliation, it's really something that we should want. When we forgive someone, we really should want to reconcile. But reconciliation is more difficult. Because to reconcile with someone, you have to have their help. They have to want to reconcile with you. And a lot of people in your life will simply not want to. So the door of reconciliation, we should want to do that after we have come to a place of forgiving someone, to restore the relationship to the person that hurt us. But it requires two people. It requires the person that hurt you be open to talk to you about it. It requires the person that hurt you to take responsibility for what they did to hurt you. That they have to have some sorrow, some genuine sorrow for the pain and hurt that it caused you, and they want to work toward building a relationship with you. Sometimes you can do that. Sometimes there are people that do want to reconcile with you. But many, many people who have hurt you, they won't want to talk about it. They won't even admit any kind of responsibility, like, well, you know, I don't know, that sounds like your problem. That they'll never genuinely say they're sorry, or when they say they're sorry, say, well, if I offended you, I'm sorry. What does that mean? If I offended you, I'm sorry. That's not like saying, I offended you and I really am sorry. So we know it's not genuine. And they're really not interested in doing something to try to reconnect you in your relationship. But there are some people that will want to reconcile with you. I think you kind of know who those people are. And when your heart says, why don't you try this? I would suggest you go to them. Those that you feel like the Lord is kind of calling you to try to attempt some reconciliation, after you've forgiven them, go to them and say, something I wanted to talk to you about, something that's bothered me for years. And that is that, way back when this happened, and I just kind of felt like, you really didn't want to be my friend anymore. You didn't really care about me, and I really hoped you would be there because I was going through a tough time, and I just kind of felt like you abandoned me. And I just that kind of hurt me, and I've forgiven you for it. But I really wanted to tell you about that because I really do miss you and your friendship. And then you just say, do you think we could ever reestablish a relationship together? And if you felt safe doing that, to ask them and just see what they say. And you're going to know by what they say whether they want to take some responsibility in your relationship ending, that they have some genuine sorrow, and that they really want to, repair the relationship, but not just repair it back to what it was. See, that's what you shouldn't be interested in. I don't want us to go back so we can be friends just like we used to be. I want to be friends with you in a new, better, stronger, healthier way. Kind of the way that Jesus wants us to be friends right now. Because see, the power of Jesus' forgiveness can wipe everything away. Because God really wants people to have a second, a third, a fourth chance. Forgiveness can happen in a moment. Some of you today, I'm hoping that forgiveness for someone happens right here, right today. It can happen in a moment. You can decide, I'm going to let this go. You have the power to do that. You have the strength to take that faith step. You can forgive in a moment. But reconciliation, it takes time. Because reconciliation is a process of growing a friendship. And we just hope and we just pray that some of the people that we forgive, we'd have a chance to reconcile with. Many might say no, and there is no possibility. Because see, we can always forgive, and we should want to reconcile, but sometimes it just can't happen. But we want to be people of hope that try to reconcile when there seems to be an open door where it can. Forgiveness and reconciliation, that's what we oftentimes don't do. And we're stuck. We're stuck. And being stuck is really a matter of the heart. You see, today, while we're together, we have the opportunity to take this heart that has a lot of stuck stuff in it, and maybe you can kind of identify some of those things that you've been believing. That there must be something wrong with me, that nobody ever wants to be my friend, and things just don't work out, and I'm destined to be in this crappy place like I'm in now for the rest of my life. Some of these things that you've got stuck inside of you, you can really ask Jesus to replace those things with the truth. That He loves you, that you are important, that you are valuable, that He has plans for your life, that He is the God of second chances, third chances. In fact, when Peter asked Him, how many times do I got to forgive? Jesus said 7 times 70, 490 times. That means forgiveness is unlimited. You have the capacity to forgive people unlimitedly. And you can take the things that are in your heart today that have just been pressing on your mind the last few weeks as we've been talking about forgiveness, and you can let them go. You have the capacity to do it. You have the capacity today to get closer to doing it if you're not ready today. But today can be a pivotal moment. Today, each and every one of us can say to Jesus, Jesus, I give you my heart. I give you my heart. Think about that. I give you my heart because I want you to be my Lord and Savior. But we can give him our heart and allow him to receive that power of his forgiveness, his healing, his truth. Today we can give Jesus our heart and we can say, I want to exchange the lies for truth. I want to exchange all this stuff that's keeping me stuck with the word of truth about what you think of me and what you have done for me and what you want to do in my life. You can do that. We can do that. We can invite Jesus to come and transform us. We can invite Jesus to keep his promise inside of us that says, I am with you and I will never leave you, I'll never forsake you.